मैं आजमगढ़ की जनता से अनुमति लेकर के ही चुनाव लड़ूंगा अगर चुनाव लड़ता हूँ।
You're watching News Epicenter with me, Maria Shakil. The battle for Uttar Pradesh is heating up, and it seems it is the eastern part, or Purvanchal, that will see the most intense contest and VVIP contests. The BJP has taken the lead in this fight after they announced Yogi Adityanath's candidature from his bastion of Gorakhpur, putting all the speculation to rest that the Chief Minister could choose Mathura or Ayodhya as his constituency. After Yogi's name was announced in the first list of the BJP, UP BJP Twitter handle and other leaders put out a straight question to the Samajwadi Party chief, Yogi's prime challenger in this two-horse race in UP, asking where will he be contesting from. The open dare was to also former Chief Minister Mayawati and Congress General Secretary in charge of UP, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. Today, Akhilesh Yadav dropped a big hint that he also might be ready to throw his hat in this ring. Although the Samajwadi Party chief did not give a clear reply to this question as to where he will be contesting from, but he did say that if people of Azamgarh, the constituency which he represents as a member of parliament, want him to contest, then he might agree. This is in sharp contrast to what Akhilesh told the reporters just 2 months back, where he categorically said that he will not be contesting these elections. Even in 2012, when Akhilesh became the Chief Minister of UP, he took the MLC route rather than going through the electoral process. And not just him, even Mayawati decided to take the Legislative Council route in 2007, and Yogi Adityanath also chose the same path when he was made the Chief Minister in 2017. In fact, Yogi Adityanath is just the second leader to contest from the district, that is Gorakhpur, as Chief Minister after Tribhuvan Narayan Singh, who lost in 1971. Yogi Adityanath is also the first Chief Minister of UP in the last 18 years to take a plunge in the electoral battle. Earlier, Samajwadi Party Chief Mulayam Singh Yadav had in fact contested from Gunnor by-poll in 2004. And this phenomena is not just restricted to UP. Between the 6 states in India that have a bicameral legislature, Nitish Kumar and Uddhav Thackeray have also chosen to be MLCs rather than going to the people and seeking mandate themselves. The reason cited for this kind of entry ranges from being able to concentrate more on campaigning in the entire state rather than the respective constituencies, to sometimes not being too sure of chances to win their respective seats. Although Akhilesh Yadav might look at Azamgarh being a safe constituency since he is a sitting MP. In 2019 polls, Akhilesh won from Azamgarh by a huge margin of 2.5 lakh votes, and even in 2014, Mulayam Singh Yadav won the seat, defeating the sitting MP of BJP, Ramakant Yadav. Now, with just days left for the first phase of polling, the big question remains, will Akhilesh go all out and enter the electoral fray, and will the battle for UP be decided now in Purvanchal? To answer this, I have with me Shehzad Poonawalla, spokesperson of the BJP, Vivek Silas is the spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, Radhika Ramaseshan, columnist, Sanjay Kumar, Professor CSDS, political analyst. Sanjay Kumar, why would Akhilesh Yadav accept the BJP challenge and drop the hint that he could contest from, Azamgarh, not Kannauj, a constituency he has represented from 2002 till 2012?
No, I think, yes, BJP is all the time challenging. BJP is claiming that, Yogi Adityanath is at least contesting election, where Akhilesh Yadav should tell us from where he is contesting election, whether he is contesting election or not. So if Akhilesh Yadav decides not to contest election, that may be a point on which BJP could keep hitting Samajwadi Party. And then Akhilesh Yadav or Samajwadi Party will have no answer to give to the BJP or to the people. that if you are saying that Samajwadi Party is winning election, Samajwadi Party is going to form the government, then you should be contesting election. Then who is going to be the chief minister of the state? So I think that is what is looming large in the mind of Akhilesh Yadav among various Samajwadi Party leaders. And then I think there's a change of mood, or there's a change of decision that maybe Akhilesh Yadav should decide to contest election. So at least this discussion comes to an end. And BJP and Samajwadi Party is not always pushed in the corner by asking this question.
Okay. Radhika, do chief ministers take an easier option often when they do not contest elections?
Well, you cited two reasons. One is that they have to campaign. Apart from campaigning, there are a whole lot of nitty-gritties, nuts and bolts, which have to be put in place right till the last vote is cast. So maybe that could be another reason why they don't want to, restrict themselves to one seat. Well, having said that, I mean, if you are the chief ministerial candidate, logically it shouldn't be very difficult for you to win the seat. However, I would just like to remind everybody that in 1993, when the SP-BSP alliance beat the BJP by a whisker in the assembly elections, Mulayam Singh Yadav nearly lost his own seat. So
Yes.
It's not as though if you are the putative chief minister, you're going to have a very easy way. So maybe that's why this, wherever there are bicameral legislatures, this legislative council may be an option. However, it is important for Akhilesh to contest in this high stakes election, because this is one way in which his workers will get galvanized even more than they already are.
Okay.
So I don't think it was advisable for him to take the legislative council route and then resign as an MP and take the legislative council route. And if it is Azamgarh, of course it's a safe seat. I mean, the social equations really favor the Samajwadi Party. The core MY base is there. And if he is indeed expanding his OBC base, then, well, that's also there. But of course, I mean, he will have to visit the constituency again and again. I mean, there are no easy routes, but except that Purvanchal.
We saw what happened in Bhawanipur.
Yeah, look what happened to Mamta, in Nandigram. Exactly. So
Yes,
there
Nandigram.
are other instances.
Yes, absolutely. There are multiple instances, as you quoted rightly. Vivek Silas, why is Akhilesh Yadav not openly saying, here is the BJP, the first announcement that came from the BJP in charge of UP, Dharmendra Pradhan, was that Yogi Adityanath will be contesting from Gorakhpur. They have put all speculation to rest. What's stopping Akhilesh Yadav from announcing clearly?
Very good evening to you, ma'am. Actually, I've been on different channels regarding this topic. And we have been saying this since the last 15-20 days, that definitely he would be contesting the MLH elections from Uttar Pradesh. Akhilesh Yadav ji happens to be a member of the parliament from Azamgarh itself. That is why he said, being a member of parliament, definitely with his connect with the people, his voters, he'll ask the voters and he'll ask them whether I should contest the Vidhan Sabha polls or no. Definitely, that is what he said. And finally, we have made up our mind, and most probably he'll be contesting from Azamgarh itself. You asked about Kannauj and other things, but let me remind you, at the moment, at present, Akhilesh Yadav ji is a member of the parliament from Azamgarh. And if I talk about Yogi ji, what Yogi ji initially said, that he might contest from Mathura or Ayodhya, Devpas, Kashi and Prayagraj. And finally, what happened? He was sent to Gorakhpur by the Bharatiya Janata Party. Actually, ma'am, he was supposed to go back to Gorakhpur on 10th of March. But thankfully, the Bharatiya Janata Party has sent him to Gorakhpur.
This is something that Akhilesh Yadav said कि पार्टी ने ही टिकट दे करके वापस भेज दिया योगी आदित्यनाथ को. My question to you is, Shehzad Poonawalla, that here is what was being speculated, not Mathura, not Ayodhya. Yogi Adityanath is contesting from Gorakhpur, the constituency from where he has been member of parliament for over 5 terms. Is this now about Purvanchal? Because BJP realizes that is where the most intense battle will be, and it is important to ensure that your biggest face in these elections, the Chief Minister himself, is on ground contesting.
मारिया, सबसे पहले लेट मी टेल यू कि उत्तर प्रदेश के लोग कह रहे हैं कि बबुआ को लगे डर, इसलिए मीडिया के सहारे प्लांट कराए कि मैं लड़ूंगा फ्रॉम आजमगढ़, पर
योगी
अभी
की
तक
बात करो
डिक्लेयर नहीं
शहजाद,
किया है क्योंकि बीजेपी
योगी
देखिए
की बात करो
मारिया, आई
शहजाद।
डोंट थिंक वी शुड
Vivek ji,
इंटरप्ट
let
ईच
him
अदर.
speak, please. Let him speak. You got your time. Let him speak now.
Who
Yes.
is Babua and who is what
Okay,
will
let him
decide on
speak.
10th of March.
Let him speak. Let him speak.
that-
Yes, go ahead.
Let the people of Uttar Pradesh decide.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Shehzad.
देखिए, बीजेपी की लहर से इतने भयभीत के सीट चुने सुरक्षित, वो भी इतनी सुरक्षित. अरे अगर आप हराने वाले हो, याद है मारिया, व्हेन द न्यूज वाज देयर दैट अयोध्या में या मथुरा से Yogi ji could contest, that was a figment of the media's imagination. At that time, the same spokespersons appeared on your show, and I follow your show very carefully, and they said that look, Gorakhpur में इनकी deposit जब्त होने वाली है, इसलिए they are running to Ayodhya and they will communalize the election. Today, Maria, through your esteemed show, which is watched by millions, I am offering Vivek Sailas an opportunity that हरा दो हमें गोरखपुर में. Why don't you announce कि अखिलेश यादव will contest from Gorakhpur against Yogi Maharaj? The reason they can't announce this, and the reason why Akhilesh Yadav is ineffective in Purvanchal, you remember, Maria, 2014 Prime Minister contested from Purvanchal. We swept the region. 2017, we have swept out of 160 seats, or we have got over 100 seats. In 2019, we have again swept. And Mr. Akhilesh Yadav contested in 2019 from Azamgarh. Did he manage to sweep it for his party? The reason why this has not happened is because of three V's. Three V's are the reason.
Okay.
Vikas, कुशीनगर एयरपोर्ट, सिद्धार्थनगर हॉस्पिटल मेडिकल फैसिलिटी, पूर्वांचल एक्सप्रेसवे, विरासत, काशी विश्वनाथ धाम का जो हमने उद्धार किया है, एंड व्यवस्था. आज व्यवस्था ऐसी है, जैपनीज एंसेफेलाइटिस. मारिया, मुझे याद है आपकी रिपोर्टिंग, कितनी ही रिपोर्टिंग आपने पूर्वांचल से की है. 1500 2000 बच्चे हर साल मरते थे, पर आज वो पूरी तरह से बंद हो चुका है. एंड विकास, विरासत और व्यवस्था की वजह से टुडे वेर एवर मिस्टर योगी आदित्यनाथ जी वुड हैव कंटेस्टेड फ्रॉम, ही वुड हैव वन. ही हैज चोजन गोरखपुर टू स्टे. हमारा काम, हम पे भरोसा है, हमें काम पर, इनको भरोसा है तो लड़ ले गोरखपुर से.
Has been that your entire development, whatever you may have done, has been focused around Western UP largely because of your political calculations. The eastern part of the state have largely been ignored and overlooked, and that is the reason why we saw that Purvanchal Expressway and a slew of development measures being announced and inaugurations take place in recent times by Prime Minister himself. Is that a factor? Don't you see this as something you realize that Eastern UP is not your advantage or your area where you can make gains, and that is the reason first you have opened doors for all those from the BJP who come from Eastern UP, be it Keshav Prasad, be it Swami Prasad Maurya, or even Dara Singh Chauhan and other MLAs, and now you are talking about this because you realize that is important, that will be key for this election.
Yes, ma'am, let me answer now. The question was too long. Anyway, I'll just try to remind you and our viewers, even Shehzad, Yogi Adityanath is the only chief minister who has lost the by-election from Gorakhpur against under his regime, if you remember. And you talked about Keshav Prasad Maurya, who is the deputy chief minister. He too lost the election from Phulpur. It was under the Bharatiya Janata Party government when Yogi Adityanath ji was the chief minister. First of all. Secondly, we can see Manish Gupta, what happened in Gorakhpur. We can see how he was murdered inside the hotel. And who can forget the people, the small kids who died due to lack of oxygen. That too was also in Gorakhpur, nowhere else in Uttar Pradesh or in the world. Third, we saw floods in Gorakhpur just this last year, July and August 2021, how people were in shambles, how they were यहाँ कमर तक पानी घूम रही थी.
तो अखिलेश यादव चुनाव लड़ ले.
यहाँ झूठ बोल.
गोरखपुर से जो भाजपा चाहती है कि डायरेक्ट कॉन्टेस्ट हो जाए गोरखपुर में.
मारिया जी,
डायरेक्ट कॉन्टेस्ट हो जाए.
मारिया जी,
यही तो भाजपा बोल रही है.
मारिया जी,
मैं फिर से बोलिए बात.
जस्ट वन लाइन.
भाजपा का कहना है कि अखिलेश यादव खुद गोरखपुर आकर के चुनाव लड़ ले ये योगी आदित्यनाथ के खिलाफ.
मैम, गोरखपुर जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. हमारा एक अदना सा कार्यकर्ता योगी जी को हरा के वहां से आए, और 10 मार्च को आप देख लीजिएगा कि वो कैसे आते हैं. जैसे वो लोकसभा का उपचुनाव गोरखपुर से हारे थे, वैसे खुद का चुनाव हार के आएंगे. ये भी नोट कर लीजिए. मेरी बात.
शहजाद,
वन लाइन, जस्ट वन लाइन. Maria, first of all, you must ask the Samajwadi Party spokespersons what their line is, because one person says Gorakhpur is a safe seat, another person comes on your show and says that it is not a safe seat because this has happened and that has happened. So if this and that has happened and it is not a safe seat and still our chief minister is willing to contest, that means he has vishwas on the work he has done. But now you tell me, Mr. Vivek Sailas, कि अगर आपको भरोसा है अपने काम पर, वैसे कारनामे ज्यादा है काम कम है, तो आप क्यों नहीं हमें अयोध्या में हरा देते, या आप अनाउंस कर दीजिए कि गोरखपुर से आप लड़ लेंगे, या आप अनाउंस कर लीजिए कि आप मथुरा से लड़ लेंगे. You do not want to even contest. Today the news of allegedly contesting has been planted only because you have realized that you are on the back foot. Maria ji, I think one should get to speak and then the other person can respond. He has been constantly interrupting me. This is not the way to debate. Maria, all my question is to Mr. Sailas is only this, that can he tell me 5 things they have done for Purvanchal in the last so many years? Purvanchal Expressway हमने बनाया, सिद्धार्थ नगर मेडिकल कॉलेज हमने बनाया, जापानीज एंसेफेलाइटिस खत्म हमने किया, खुशीनगर एयरपोर्ट हमने बनाया, बीएचयू में 100 मेडिकल बेड की मेडिकल फैसिलिटी हमने बनाई, हमने 2.5 करोड़ किसानों को किसान सम्मान निधि दिया, 1.5 करोड़ लोगों को हमने गैस उज्ज्वला योजना दी, 40 लाख लोगों का घर बनाया. All these developmental works which primarily targeted the poorest of the poor has been done by us. Today our tickets, the list that we have given, 65% have been given to शोषित वंचित पिछड़ा समाज के जो लोग हैं, महिलाएं हैं, उनको टिकट दिया.
Okay, let me go back to the experts now.
नाहिद हसन से शुरू होता है, हाजी यूनुस पे खत्म होता है.
Sanjay Kumar, the battle for UP clearly shifting towards eastern UP, and not for the first time, won't be the last again. In 2014, when Prime Minister Modi chose Varanasi as his constituency besides Vadodara, the same reason was that Purvanchal will have an impact on the neighboring Bihar as well. And that is what played out, you know, in 2014 elections. And now we are seeing that the elections are moving towards Purvanchal much before the first phase.
No, Maria, you're right. But one needs to understand why election is shifting to Purvanchal. One thing is very clear, because of the size of Purvanchal. Purvanchal accounts for roughly about 150 MLAs. So, and if you look at the victory of political parties, the party which managed to form government in Lucknow, 2017, it is BJP, and before that Samajwadi Party, and even before that BSP. All these parties have done extremely well in Purvanchal region. If a party doesn't perform well in Purvanchal region, the chances of party winning election would be less because of the size of Purvanchal. I think that's the reason. And if you look at how politics is changing in Purvanchal, most of these leaders who have shifted from BJP and moved towards Samajwadi Party, most of them have sizable support base. Whatever support base they have, it is limited in the Purvanchal region. So BJP, which was hoping to make up the losses it is going to suffer in western Uttar Pradesh from the gains it intended to make in Purvanchal. But I think BJP seems to be slightly on a slippery wicket now after these defections in the Purvanchal. So they are making an effort, and that is why this whole social engineering by way of distributing tickets to larger number of people belonging to OBC caste and Dalits. And Samajwadi Party also knows that if they have to capture power in Lucknow, they have to form government in Lucknow, they have to do well in Purvanchal. I think that is why there is a shift of the focus. The focus has shifted from Western Uttar Pradesh, even though Western Uttar Pradesh goes to poll in the first phase, to Eastern Uttar Pradesh.
Yes, the discussion on Eastern UP has already begun, Radhika. You know, I've covered enough elections to say that we used to talk about the Jat factor, the Muslim factor, and Western UP was the focus. Now that seems to be almost a belt which will be going in a way which has become predictable. But as far as Eastern UP is concerned, where we are seeing these defections also, do you think the reason why Yogi Adityanath has chosen Gorakhpur, and perhaps even, perhaps Akhilesh Yadav would be contesting from Azamgarh, would be about that battle? It's about those massive chunk of seats.
Absolutely. I mean, Eastern UP, Purvanchal, as Sanjay said, accounts for about 150 seats. I mean, that's a huge, huge chunk. So, but of course, every phase is equally important, in my opinion. In fact, the first one on 10th February will probably set the tone.
Yes.
The mahal, the hawa, will probably come from Western UP. But having said that, three things. It is going to be a referendum on all the grandiose projects that Shahzad Punewala listed on behalf of the BJP. Then it is going to be a referendum also on Hindutva, symbolized both by Varanasi and Gorakhpur. I mean, let's not forget, Gorakhpur has North India's most influential monastery,
Yes.
which is helmed by Yogi Adityanath himself. And, he has pursued a Hindutva agenda. Let's not make any bones about it. And thirdly, it's also going to be a referendum on the social engineering fabric, which the BJP had stitched up quite ably in the last three elections. That
Yes.
is coming apart. That is fraying on the edges. So we have to see how much it has frayed, how much loss it is going to cause to the BJP. And conversely, how much is Akhilesh going to gain by the various alliances that he has stitched up, notably with Om Prakash Rajbhar, Swami Prasad Maurya, Dara Singh Chauhan, and there is also the Mahandal, which is influential in parts of East and Central UP.
Yes, that's
so all
where
these factors
the
are
non-Yadav OBCs become a factor, 35%.
and if I may quickly add, the Dalit vote, that is a bit of a puzzlement to me. Which way are the Dalits going to swing? Since Mayawati has not really foregrounded herself in the battle, you never know. But where are the Dalits? I think that is going to be, especially the Jatavs and the Parsis.
Okay.
Where are they going? I think that is also
Okay, Sanjay Kumar,
determined.
answer that. Where are they going? And then I'll give the final words to the two politicians on the panel.
Because large number of Dalits are the beneficiaries of the welfare schemes of BJP government, both at the center and the state, I think, and Mayawati not contesting elections seriously as it is seen by the common voters. I think the BJP will be a beneficiary of the Dalit vote. Dalit vote will shift in favor of BJP. Samajwadi Party has never been a beneficiary of Dalit vote, even in the past election. So I think Dalit vote is going to shift slightly in favor of BJP because BSP is not contesting these elections seriously.
So if that is a gain for the BJP and there are certain minuses in terms of right now what appears to be certain non-Yadav boxes being moved away, then what does it net signify? Sanjay Kumar.
No, that is why it signifies that there is a close contest. I don't buy this argument that Samajwadi Party is winning hands down or BJP is winning hands down. This is a close contest. And in my opinion, even in this close contest, still BJP has a very slender margin lead over Samajwadi Party. It is a close contest, but BJP still seems to be ahead.
Okay. So the BJP seems to be ahead is an assessment of Sanjay Kumar, of course, 2 weeks before the first ballot will be cast on 10th. Vivek Silas, you have stitched together an alliance of smaller parties and most of them come from Eastern UP and of course there is RLD in Western UP. You did have alliances in the past as well. 2017 UP ke ladke Congress Sapa coming together. 2017 pure arithmetic BSP SP coming together. But its arithmetic has not really yielded results for the Samajwadi Party in the past.
Yes, ma'am, I don't want to go into history now. Let the bygones be bygones. But I think I can just say it's the Yogi ji has a very difficult task in front of him. He's the one who would face the real question from the people of UP, be it unemployment, inflation, problem of farmers, atrocities on women, corruption, mismanaged during the COVID times. Development is also an issue. The promises that were made in 2017, literally nothing has been fulfilled.
Okay.
1 trillion economy, doubling the income of the farmers, 70 lakh jobs.
Final words to Shahzad Punawala.
Smart cities, film cities, bullet trains. Even
okay.
Yogi ji promised metro in Gorakhpur.
Shahzad, go ahead.
Not a single pillar has been erected.
Yes, go ahead.
Not a single pillar. If you can tell me a single pillar
Maria,
in Gorakhpur,
you were very... No, Maria, this is...
Vivek ji, I have just 30 seconds and I have to give it to the BJP spokesperson. Yes, please, go ahead.
Thank you. Maria, you're very right when you cited the example of SP, BSP. Just because you do political nikah in party office does not mean that social coalitions will be formed on the ground. This is the same Samajwadi party that on the ground, now, you know, they have joined hands with Swami Prasad Maurya. Their own ally Mahandal Neta, Keshav Chand Maurya, has said that he's a Dal Badlu. He is not happy. Apart from that, look, the BJP has always represented these classes. Even today, Sanjay ji, we have over 100 OBC MPs. We have over 90 OBC MLAs. Our Prime Minister happens to come from this community, and he is the first Prime Minister to complete his full tenure from the OBC Samaj. We have done the maximum work for OBCs. We have 27 OBCs in Central Cabinet, more than 20 OBC ministers in the State Cabinet. We are the ones who gave constitutional status
That is some
to the OBC
citing of
Commission.
statistics there,
So we
Shehzad
have always
Poonawala.
stood with this community.
Thank you
and
so
caste.
much for joining us, Vivek Silas and Radhika and Sanjay Kumar. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and perspective. Of course, UP will remain out of focus because battle for UP, as we have been saying, is still heating up. There are several twists and turns that we are witnessing almost on a daily basis. That's all from me. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow.